Hey, hi, hello everybody. I happen to have a post-narrated game of TCGO, and I'm actually going to do my best to explain a little bit how this deck works, because I kind of feel like the first time I uploaded it was just kind of me just talking over it, assuming everyone knew what it did. But yeah, I understand at this point that not a lot of people understand how the game works. There's an excellent tutorial, by the way, on the website. But in case you don't want to do that and you just want to jump into the video, I'm going to try to do my best from now on. And these post-narrated ones, because the live ones, I don't care who's watching. That's why I'm recording it. And that's why I'm showing it off to you guys. I really don't care what I'm doing, what I'm saying in that kind of situation. But because I am post-narrating it, I figure I might as well do that. So I lead off with Emolga. He leads off with Emolga. One of the best starters in the game to have, because it just lets you, for its attack, it lets you put down 2 basic Pokemon if you have an energy, which is the important part that I'm saying this here, because I don't actually get an energy. But I'm using Pokemon Communication in this deck over like Level Balls or Ultra Balls, because I have a lot of Pokemon in this deck, and it's pretty likely that I'm just going to be able to draw one, and Pokemon Communication just basically lets you swap it out for a different one, as long as you have one in your hand and you just put it back in your deck. So just a little switchy kind of thing. But I get down 2 Trapinches, a Dusknoir, and a Celebi, and I miss my energy attachment for the turn, which actually kind of sucks, because I could have used the Emolga to put another Trapinch on the field. Now, Flygon's ability is, once you get it fully evolved all the way, it puts 10 damage, or 1 damage counter on everything on the opponent's side of the field between turns, as long as it is the active Pokemon. So if you can keep the Flygon and the active, not even necessarily attacking, just keep it out there as long as you can, then you're good to go, and you're just putting a lot of damage counters, which ties in nicely with Dusknoir's ability, which is Sinister Hand, and it lets you move damage counters as often as you want to whatever you want, which is a really, really, really cool ability. But right now, what he's got going on is he's just calling for family, and he's loading this up. And you can see that I have a Chorus in my hand, which actually relies on how many Pokemon are in play. You shuffle your hand into your deck, and then you draw according to how many Pokemon cards are on both yours and your opponent's benches. It's because of that that I get to shuffle and draw 9, which is great because I draw into a Rare Candy and a Dusknoir. That's actually the only means I have to evolve it in this deck, because I stopped running Dusclops in order to run just rare candies on everything, in case I don't have the luxury of going from Trapinch to Vibrava to Flygon. Now, I do make a pretty big error in gameplay later. I will explain it as it goes on, but that's what I got going on from there. Oh, I forgot to explain Celebi. Celebi has the ability, is strictly there for the ability called Time Recall, which lets you use abilities from previous evolutions. That's going to come into play slightly, not necessarily for its intended purposes, but you'll kind of see it. And Celebi only applies to your side, not the opponent's side too. Just figured I'd clarify that. So, in case you haven't noticed, my opponent is playing a Crobat Giratina Gardevoir deck, which is really interesting. It's also got some stage 2s, and it's got just some basics, you know, just to kind of be able to do the thing. But 2 stage 2 lines it means he's going to be setting up roughly as quickly as I am. So I have a little bit of time, and assuming I can draw well, I'll be good to go. But I'm noticing that Giratina has a pretty hefty retreat cost. I'm going to try to catch her into the one with an experience share just to buy some time, and then if I can knock it out, then that's one less thing on his side of the field with an experience share. So I get a Chorus off, and I'm just going to be able to attach manually to my Trapinch, the one that already has energy. No? Okay, I guess I'm attaching to the other one. Now, here is the beginning of the mistake. I probably should have just P-comped for a Vibrava, and then just been able to, you know, evolve to a Flygon on the next turn. I would have Skylit for a Chorus, which means I would have had a dead turn. I don't know how important that was overall to the game. I'll probably remember right now the significance of this dead turn. But he hits a Veerbank in play. That's fine. I don't run lasers in this deck. I do not have the room for it. It would really appreciate it, but I would much rather get my own lines set up that much quicker versus have my lines set up at kind of a regular pace and then just like not be able to do that. But I Skylar for a Rare Candy here. This is important because although I do get the Flygon up a lot quicker than I normally would have, I do not have the luxury of going for the Sand Pulse, which is what I assumed I had because I attached the double colorless onto that one, completely forgetting that I needed the Vibrava in the middle in order to be able to do that, which is why I decided to catch up the Ralts, figuring, hey, Sand Pulse does 50 with the extra 10 in between turns, I'll get the knockout. This is gonna be easy. So I'm looking at my attack menu, and it's not letting me do it because I don't have a Vibrava in the middle. So I'm like, wow, this is really embarrassing. So all I can do is bite for 20, which is really unfortunate. That's Trapinch's attack, but it still lets me put 10 on everything in between turns, and with the amount of damage counters on the field, and with Dusknoir's ability, I do have the potential to knock out something with 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 HP or less, which is pretty cool. Now, if he doesn't rare candy it up, I will move all the damage counters onto that in order to knock it out. And if he doesn't catcher up something on my bench that isn't Flygon, there will be 6 more damage counters in play. So the more Pokemon that are in play on the opponent's side of the field, the more powerful the strategy becomes. So he's going to go ahead and Skyla. I believe this is either for an Ultra Ball or Rare Candy. We do see Ultra Ball. I think he has the Rare Candy in hand. So he's going for the Gardevoir on this turn. Now, Gardevoir's ability treats 1 Psychic Energy on your side of the field as 2, which means that Giratina now becomes a very inexpensive attacker, only needing 2 energies to attack for 90, and it discards a card randomly from your opponent's hand. Crobat only needing 2 energy to attack as well, with Ultra Toxic Fangs, which does, it poisons you, but it puts 4 damage counters on the field in between or 4 more damage counters, I believe. So, wait, is it? No, it's 4 damage counters instead of 1 for poison. So with Veerbank, Veerbank putting 2 more, that means that's 60 damage counters. Not 60. What? I'm saying 60 damage counters. It should be either 6 damage counters or 60 damage. Get it right. Oh my god. So, I think I Skyled right here. I eventually decided to go for a Colress. I hate these turns where you have to go for a supporter. With the Skyla, but I'm in danger of not drawing into anything else. So the Flygon is still alive, and I just decided to switch and retreat. Emolga's pretty handy with that because you can just get rid of poison that much easier if it is in play. Right now, I'm just using Sinister Hand. I hate how clunky this interface is with Sinister Hand. I really wish they would do something about damage counter moving stuff, like some kind of typing interface, because I mean, they have a chat system, so they have the text obviously worked out, but like putting in clicking a Pokemon and then asking, hey, how many damage counters do you want to move off of this? And then just typing a number and then taking all those off and then just clicking the new Pokemon you want to move them to. Because 1 by 1 by 1 is really annoying, or if you could at least keep the menu up, that would be a lot better. And then just ask me when you want to exit as Sinister Hand, because you have to activate it every time you want to move a damage counter. And I mean, that makes sense, but at the same time, it's like as often as you like. I feel like if I'm not going to want to do it just once when I activate it, you know? Or, I mean, there might be a rare situation when I do, but I feel like that's just me complaining about something that is obviously valid, but it's still kind of annoying. Plus, in real life, you could just say, I'm going to Sinister Hand all of these damage counters from this onto this, blah, 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 for the knockout. That works so much quicker in real life. You're not just going to say, Sinister Hand, move one of your little things to another, or just, flip the dice over, however you play. It's kind of bulky online, which is why I don't play this often, because it's a lot of unnecessary animation. But hey, anyways, at least I still have the Flygon in the active spot, which means I'm still putting damage counters on everything, and Dusknoir is still there, so I have a lot of flex room. If he got rid of Dusknoir, then I wouldn't have really had a lot of options, but I'm not seeing any catchers yet. I don't know if he hits them or if he even has them. There is a basic deck that gives you catchers now, so I'm not even worried about that. Oh, on the previous turn, I went for the Smithereen Smash with Trapinch, which was actually kind of important because I didn't have Vibrava's Sand Pulse thing going on me. So I figured, hey, I'll just get rid of the Gardevoir and I'll get rid of an energy, or try to, so that way he actually has to have a double colorless in order to hit me. So he hits me with a laser, which is fine because Flygon has 140 HP. I've got 100. Veerbank's going to make it 30, which means I live with 10. And I do have a switch to get rid of it. I don't care if I woke up or not because I'm just going to end up switching out of here to get rid of the poison anyways, and then just bring it back in, because a switch and a retreat are not the same thing. You're allowed to do that. So I'm going to Pecom out this Dusknoir. I forget what I'm getting. I guess of a Brava in order to manually evolve the other one and to be able to Sand Pulse it. So that one's getting good to go. If I can get a good draw off of this Colress, that'll be good, I guess. I feel like that's kind of an obvious thing to say, but I'm getting 8 cards off of it. A Flygon and a Pecom are really all I need. It turns out I get 2, so I'll have another Flygon ready to go after this one falls. But right now we're going to go back to this Sinister Hand, really bulky animation stuff. I do apologize for it, but I think there are exactly enough damage counters in play to move off of stuff and onto Crobat in order to knock it out. So even if there wasn't at this time, as long as I left all but one on Crobat, I could just, you know, be able to knock it out in between turns with the Sand Slammer. And then Sand Pulse is kind of nice because we can go for it. It's a 50 damage attack, although it only does what? Yeah, it only does 50, and the energy requirement for it is 3. It sprays 10 more onto everything onto the bench. So you have a potential for 10 damage counters. I feel like I'm saying 100 damage counters and stuff like that. You guys know what I mean? We're not actually putting 100 damage counters on the field because that's 1,000 damage on the field. No, that's not what I mean. I hope you guys get what I mean on that. But I get my other Dusknoir, not too important at the moment, which is why I decided to slam down Landorus. Landorus is pretty nice just because for, you know, 1 fighting energy, if you can start out with him or get him going before you can get Flygons going, you get 60 damage on the field every time. And it's not too bad. So this Flygon's still alive for now, and then he lasers it. So I was like, okay, it's dead at the end of the turn. I'm going to have a small hiccup in my Sand Slammers while I promote the Vibrava, turn it into a Flygon, but I can compensate for it really easily with being able to Sand Pulse and then just the Sand Slammer in between turn. I feel like that more than makes up for it. So his Ralts is going to be safe for now. Just kidding. If you count how many damage counters are on Emolga, I think there's 3. We have 1 on Giratina, 1 on Crobat, 1 on the other Giratina. That's 6. That is enough to knock out the Ralts if I move them to it. And plus, I put 6 more on the field. Now, this was a small oversight on my behalf because I promote my Emolga right here. I could have moved the damage counters in a way that actually would have let me get 3 prizes on this turn if I'm not mistaken, but I still needed to finish off 1 more thing in the next turn anyways. So what I can do here, I believe I N just to get rid of all the stuff in his hand. I don't really need a lot of stuff in my hand. It's more about hurting his hand at the moment. And I mean, he only has 1 Crobat in play, so he can only night draw once. I'm hoping he doesn't draw that Crobat off of that. I decided to super odd some stuff back in just because I can. And I'm going to catch her in a Giratina, if I'm not mistaken. But this is cool because I do get to Sand Pulse on this turn. Now, I'm moving all of them onto the Ralts. So that was my main priority at the time, which is why I completely forget about the Zubat. I probably should have moved accordingly to that because I know that Sand Pulse is going to do... Sand Pulse is going to do 10 to the Ralts, and then Sand Slammer is going to finish it off. So, right here, although I should have moved that 1 damage counter onto Zubat, and then the 1 off of Emolga onto Zubat as well, which would have created another knockout situation at the end of the turn. But actually, no, you know what? I guess I was going for the kill on Emolga. That kind of works in that case, because I barely missed out on that. So it was either kill Emolga or kill Zubat. Never mind in that case. I feel like there's going to be enough damage counters just to be able to move it off anyways. Now, the worst thing he can do right here is he could probably have another laser and then just end up hexing me for 100. But if he doesn't get the sleep, then I'm just kind of good to go in that case. What am I seeing here? He puts out another Ralts, which is still pretty risky to do, especially since I still have Dusknoir in play. He's not going to be able to OHKO my Flygon with the Hex. I feel like I didn't clarify what Hex does. It does 50 damage base, but if the other Pokemon has a condition, it does 50 more. So it does 100. Virbank puts it at 130 damage, and I've got 140 HP. So I still will live until the end of the turn. Yeah, so with 10. I feel like I can finish off the game at this point, though, because I only need... How many more damage counters do I need on the field? I feel like I got enough. 1, 2, 3. So there's 1 on the Zubat, and that's a knockout. And then I'm pretty sure I've got 6 on the field at this point, which is going to be enough to knock out Ralts. Yeah, I have 7 on the Giratina and the Crobat alone. So anyway, that's the game. That's how Flygon Dusknoir works. It's pretty cool. It's a little bit slow to set up, but it's pretty rewarding. If you ask me, I don't really know what else to talk about here. Anyway, last one on Ralts. Oop, took it out. So, that's the game. I just kind of narrated at regular speed just to be able to show you guys what that's all about. What other kind of deck am I working on? I guess let me know what you want to see next. If you guys have seen any of my other decks. I'm still trying to build new ones, but I'm kind of running out of ideas. That Scolipede one I made isn't really working out right now. It kind of works better in real life for some reason, but hey, I tried it. It's not really my thing, but maybe I can tweak it a little bit. I don't know. Anyway, that was this video. If you guys enjoyed it, you can leave a like, rating, comment, and subscribe, and do your thing. And that was the video. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.